Welcome to the big show.
Hi, today we're here with Scott Metzger in Bow, New Hampshire. He's going to tell us a little bit more about Metzger. All right, Scott, so how long has it been since you guys started your business?
We started in 1967, primarily as a caulking contractor, waterproofing contractor in the Chicago area. And after a few years of doing caulking and warehouse work, my father realized that the products that were available on the market at the time just weren't well suited for lift truck traffic. So basically back then you had structural epoxy mortars that you could use, to protect edges, but then it would restrain the slabs. And polyurethanes were just too soft and didn't hold up. So he reached out to a chemist and tried to work with him on softening a rigid epoxy down to something that was semi-rigid, a term he coined. And started using that product on his own around 1972 or so. And gradually, the desire for the product built because he was selling it originally, trying to sell owners on using it, but then other contractors would hear about the product and owners would start insisting, no, I don't want to use urethane in this building, I want to use that MM80 stuff. And so from there, about 1976, he sold off the contracting arm of the business to his partners, and we moved to New Hampshire here, and he started Metzger McGuire strictly as a materials company. So we've been, essentially making materials since about 1972, but as far as the broader market, more like 77 or so.
Very good. So how many locations do you have?
We have our main sales and operations office here in Bow, New Hampshire. This training facility that we're at today is specifically just designed for education and hands-on training. It's about a mile up the road from that. Our main production facility is in Gloucester, Massachusetts. We have an alternate facility in Mequon, Wisconsin, and then we have a couple of satellite facilities down in the Atlanta area. So beyond that, we've got some distribution set up in Southern California. So we're set up to try and hit any place in the country within a day or two is the theory. So.
Very good. Mm-hmm. And what's your favorite part about this industry?
By far, my favorite part about this industry is the people. I went to school to be a journalist, and I was a journalist for a couple of years after graduating. My dad, being in this industry, I kind of grew up seeing it because at times, especially when we first moved here, he was running it out of the house. And so I understood his customer service philosophy and understood, the people that he was dealing with, people from the time I can remember even back then, especially from the ACI side, like Pat Harrison and, Rick Smith and these guys. I mean, I could see how good there were people in this industry. Before I left journalism, I started selling advertising for the newspaper to make extra money because the journalism part paid $15,000 a year and that wasn't affording me much of an apartment. And I found I really had a love for selling, period, and selling advertising and helping people solve problems and build their businesses and establish, branding. And then when I decided that was probably a better direction for me to go in, my dad just happened to have an opening in working on technical writing and literature and things of that nature, and offered me the opportunity. And I took it, and I partially took it because I realized if I was going to be selling something anyway, what does it matter if I'm selling pipe fittings or, whatever else? I mean, I realized that this industry is just as important and noble as any other, and that we're solving people's problems. I mean, it's amazing. Last year, I got invited to do the career day at my daughter's high school, and I started the presentation to the kids with show of hands, who here is thinking about a future in concrete or concrete accessories? And as you would imagine, there weren't many hands raised, but I pointed out to them that it's amazing that, companies like Amazon and General Motors and Walmart and these need products like ours to just function every day in their warehouses. We're a very small part, just a line in the floor, but we play an important role in the logistics and distribution in this country by having protection products like that. So I think being in concrete and concrete accessories is just as noble as anything else in the world. I remind my employees all the time, just to keep perspective, that we're not curing cancer, we're not curing COVID, but we'd like to treat our customers and the other people in the industry like this is an important industry, and it's a critical building block for our country. So.
I agree. This leads to the next question. What sets yourself apart from your competition?
I really think, and again, I got to give my father a lot of credit for this. My father was very heavily involved from the beginning with the American Concrete Institute and writing technical and educational literature. And also learned from him a lot, just again, being around the house. I would hear him take a technical call and talk to somebody that clearly didn't need joint filler, would just needed latex caulk or needed something for their garage. And yet he would spend the time on the phone with them to tell them and explain to them why they didn't need his product. He'd actually figure out a distributor that might have that product that they were looking for, a Sonneborn product or a Sika product or what have you. And then he'd get off the phone and I'd be like, Dad, what are you doing? I mean, why'd you spend 45 minutes with that guy? He doesn't even need our material. And he said, you know, he doesn't need it now, but someday he might need it, or someday he'll know somebody that needs it. And by treating him well, he'll come back and remember that. And that's basically how we run our company. I mean, I see the Jim do the same thing my dad did on a daily basis. And when I'm taking tech calls, when these guys are traveling or what have you, I find myself doing the same exact thing. I mean, education and educating people, there's so much gratitude in it, and it's so satisfying to help someone, whether it's a homeowner or whether it's somebody, you know, that's building a 1 million square foot distribution center. Not only find the right product, but understand why it's the right product or the right approach for a repair or what have you. And so I think really what sets us apart is obviously that hands-on customer service from a technical and operational standpoint. And the educational literature that we provide, and just our overall contribution to the industry as far as helping them understand the importance of our role in a floor, whether it's polished concrete, a warehouse, what have you. It's all about education for us. So, and customer service.
You do a great job.
We treat our customers the way that we would want to be treated, obviously. So, I think one more thing I will add, just because I'm kind of on an anti-corporate rant right now, is I think it's one thing I love about our industry, so this kind of ties into the last question, is that a small New Hampshire company like us can be a dominant force in an industry like this and be dealing with the Amazons of the world and the Walmarts and things like that instead of a multinational conglomeration. So, you know, I respect the fact that contractors like to deal with small companies, family-owned companies, anybody that they know services them well and makes good products. And it's not always all about price, and it's not always all about size or anything else. That, you know, we can put food on the table for 25 of our employees by just selling a little bit of filler in a joint. So it's pretty amazing. And I respect the fact that concrete contractors and placement contractors and joint filling guys, you know, want to deal with that and appreciate that they're employing 25 people and, you know, in a small little company someplace rather than supporting a multinational conglomerate. So
that's a great point. What's in the pipeline? What's in the future? What's new?
We're always exploring different things. You know, I feel like in general our product line is fairly full as far as what we've always done with the indoor scope. We're starting to look at a little bit more a possibility of moving into exterior type products. And really the thing that's kept us out of them for a long time has been it's a commodity item, right? Polyurethanes and things like that. So we're really we're really looking at different directions where we might be able to take polyurea technologies into an exterior situation, whether it's for paving joints, whether it's for exterior decorative or hardscape work, things of that nature. So dealing with issues about UV and UV stability, moisture tolerance, things of that nature. But I think perhaps by World of Concrete 2021, you might see one of our first exterior products, because everything that we've done so far is designed for interior. So awesome. You won't see us going into coatings or densifiers or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, we're at the stage now where I feel like for floor joint protection and repairs, we've got a pretty broad package right now. So when we're adding products now, it's for a specific niche within that or a specific, you know, parameter that needs to be addressed, whether it's moisture tolerance or something like that. So I'd say beyond a possible exterior product, you would see maybe product improvements along the line as opposed to brand new products all the time. Yeah.
Got it. Well, thank you, Metzger.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Metzger. Yeah.
We're on a last name basis.
Thank you, Scott, for always being a great partner, and for your entire Metzger team, for always being out there to help support us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So.